Good morning, my wonderful students. How have you all been doing? I believe you're all keeping safe by sanitizing your hands regularly and washing them frequently too. I am Ayewale Alaba Adepeju. Today we shall be talking about the fourth topic for this term, which is estuarine habitats. Our last two topics has been habitat all through. I've talked about saltwater habitat, I've talked about fresh water, I've talked about marine water, and the rest. But for the purpose of today's teaching, we shall be looking at estuarine habitats. Estuarine habitat is the fourth topic for this term under the main heading, aquatic habitats. But before we move on, we'd like to see the learning objective for today's lesson. At the end of this class, each one and every one of you should be able to define what an estuarine habitat is. You should all be able to mention the types of estuarine habitats. Also, you must be able to list the features of an estuarine habitat. And lastly, you should be able to mention the adaptive features of both plants and animals that reside in estuarine habitats. What is an estuarine habitat? An estuarine habitat is a wide mouth of river where tidal flows. This brings about the mixing of fresh water and seawater, which makes it salty to establish brackish water. The salinity of brackish water fluctuates with tides and dry seasons. Estuarine may take the form of swamp, marshes, delta, and lagoon. The following are the main estuarine habitats in Nigeria. We have the Niger Delta, the Cross River estuary, the Boni River, and the Imo and Ikube estuary. These and many more can be seen in Nigeria. This is a picture of what an estuarine habitat looks like. You can see we have different animals that reside here. Also plants that reside in estuarine habitat. Remember I said estuarine habitat is a mixture of fresh water and salty solution. That is, this at the end of the day will be brackish. That is, it has reasonable amount of salt content in it. What are the characteristics of an estuarine habitat? One, the substratum is very soft and muddy. That is, in estuarine habitats, you see that the place is soft and muddy, that if you don't walk carefully, you might sink in them. Secondly, the water there is shallow and there is no wave action. From the picture, you will see that the water is very shallow and no wave action of water. Three, saturated soil are poorly aerated. That is, the soil in that habitat gives out their air very poorly. Number four, plants with breathing roots are very common in estuarine habitats. Any plant that has a breathing root, you will always see them in estuarine habitat. The habitat gets exposed and flooded periodically as the tides ebbs and flow. Number six, the specific gravity is less than that of water. That is, you will not see much gravity in estuarine habitat compared with the sea. Number seven, there is presence of hydrogen sulfide and other gases in estuarine habitats. This you might not see in marine water. And lastly, the degree of salinity fluctuates within estuarine depending on tidal movement and distance from the ocean. Remember I told you that estuarine is a mixture of fresh water with the brackish water in estuarine habitat. So the salt content in estuarine habitat might fluctuate depending on the tidal movement and the distance from the ocean. We have different types of estuarine. The first one is the coastal plain estuaries or drowned river valley. They are formed when rising sea level flood existing river valley. The second one is bar-built estuaries. They are characterized by the barrier beaches or island that form parallel to the coastal line, and they are separate the estuary from the sea. Barrier beaches and islands are formed by the accumulation of sand and sediment deposited by the ocean wave. If you have once visited our bar beach, you will see that there are barriers at the coastal lines. And these are formed by the accumulation of sand sediment that are deposited by the ocean wave. The third one is the delta. Delta is characterized by large, flat, fan-shaped deposits of sediment at the mouth of a river. It occurs when the sediments accumulate more rapidly than ocean currents can carry them away. Another type of estuarine habitat is the figure stepped wall river habitat. They are created by advancing glacier, which later become flooded with seawater as the glacier is being retreated. The last type of estuarine habitat is referred to the tectonic plates. These run into fold or fold up underneath each other, then create a depression that form tectonic estuary. These and many more are the types of estuary. But for the purpose of your class, you are limited to these 5 types of estuarine habitats. How are the distribution of plants and animals in estuarine habitat? That is, how do they adapt? The plants and animals, the plants in marine habitat, how do they adapt to the environment? Number 1, the red groove, which is known as rhizopora, has slit roots to enable it to withstand strong ocean wind. That is, the red mangrove mangrove plants in estuarine habitats, they have slit roots which enable them to withstand strong ocean wind when there is fluctuation of. Secondly, the red mangrove, they also have slit roots to enable them intake air. Because of their slit root, they were able to take sufficient air to their system. Then the third one is seedling of red groove germinate on parent plant before dropping on the ground to avoid being swept away by the ocean current. This is how plants adapt to estuary habitat. Let's see the adaptation of animals to estuary habitats. Some animals, like the mitten crab, have osmoregulator mechanism that maintains the osmotic concentration of their body fluid. The logworm also have cells with a wide tolerance range of salinity. That is, this kind of animal can survive in estuarine habitat because its body or its system or cell can tolerate wide range of salinity. That is the amount of salt content. Snails, which we refer to as hydrobia, burrow into mud when tide is going out. Crabs have air-breathing lung-like structure for their breathing, while moss keeper have fins which are adapted to claw when they want to claw on land for swimming in water. And lastly, some have shell-like coffin to prevent them from desiccation. The main topic of today, like I said, is estuarine habitat. We have been able to know what is the meaning of an estuarine habitat is. I've given you examples of where you can find estuarine habitats in Nigeria. We've also talked about types of estuarine habitats. We have also discussed how plants and animals found in estuarine habitat adapt to their environment. With this, we have come to the end of today's class, and I hope you enjoy it. I'll be here next week to dish out another interesting topic. But before then, I would like you to tell you what are the things that affect estuarine habitats. We have different factors that tend to affect estuarine habitats. The first one is multiple threats due to human activities in our stream or river flow through an agricultural area. Fertilizer, manure, pesticide, and other farming-related effluents are picked up from there. Untreated sewage from falling septic tank and industrial effluents, construction site waste, and other solid waste all find its way into the river and untimely end up flowing into the estuarine habitat. As a result, estuarine habitats are the most highly populated and threatening biomass among all the different habitats we have. With this, I would like to refer you to the uploaded comprehensive lesson notes on the school website for more on this topic. And you can also read our recommended text, Excellence in Biology for Senior Secondary School, Book 2 by F. Fakeye, and also Essential Biology for Senior Secondary School by MC Michael. See you and have a blessed day. I want you to know that I miss you all, and we are all hoping to have you back in school very soon. But before then, stay safe and stay blessed.